Greetings, programs, and welcome back to the Gamification Games and Movie News segment. It's been a long time, but there has been a heap of news coming out. We just had the Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, and they announced a whole heap of new games. They released a few new trailers, world premieres, and stuff like that. The Xbox, they finally showed the Scarlet system. So let's get into all this good news that's going on. So we'll go with the first $7 to call it new news. This is good news. Not always. There are 5 news items, and these are kind of big, so just bear with me, guys. Let's get right into it, shall we? I'm excited. News number 1. Star Wars, yeah, that's right, I'm going to be talking about Star Wars, but not the way you think. Star Wars Jedi Temple Challenge is to stream exclusively on Disney+. This is from StarWars.com. Star Wars Jedi Temple Challenge, an exciting new Disney Plus game show set in a galaxy far, far away, will test young contestants' abilities in the core Jedi principles of strength, knowledge, and bravery as they face thrilling and fun obstacles in an attempt to achieve the rank of Jedi Knight. From lightsabers to hyperspace, the Force, and the dark side, Jedi Temple Challenge transports viewers and contestants into the Star Wars galaxy like never before. Okay, so this sounds like one of those game shows that, like, after school specials, well, for me anyway, it might have been morning for some of you, but there was always these after school specials where they have different schools come in, like 3 or 4 contestants from each school, representing a school, and they'd play games and do activities and stuff and try and earn points. Similar to like The Price is Right, or I don't know, Wheel of Fortune and stuff like that, but with more kid activity stuff, like finding puzzles, finding pieces to puzzles and stuff like that. That was really cool. So if this is like that, it sounds awesome for the kids. The show is hosted by Ahmed Best, who will play a Jedi Master and mentor to the contestants. And as we know, he was Jar Jar Binks from the Star Wars prequels. And personally, I liked Jar Jar because I was like 12 when I first saw the prequels, right? So I was like, oh, okay, he's a cool character, klutzy and whatnot. Didn't like get angry at it over what happened, but anyway, we'll move past that, shall we? Best's unique set of skills as an actor, dancer, martial arts expert, stomp musician, and Star Wars fan make him the perfect choice as the show's host and mentor. Best is joined by a hilarious humanoid droid companion voiced by Mary Holland, who was on Veep Upright Citizens Brigade Theatre. So I don't know much about her, but if she's playing a psychic character, okay, cool. It seems very much in that line of this after school activity special thing. Quote, "This is definitely a kids' game show like no other," says Lucasfilm's Senior Director of Online Content and Programming, Mickey Capoferri. Capoferri? Yeah. The various challenges will test a Padawan's connection to the Force in 3 locations: a forest planet, on board the Jedi Star Cruiser, and inside a Jedi temple. immersing them in the audience in a fun, humorous, and exciting competition. Star Wars Jedi Challenge brings together the best of Star Wars, competitive spirit, harrowing obstacles, and a hero's triumph over challenges in a totally new format for the franchise, says Dan Silver, Vice President, Originals, Unscripted Content, Disney+. A game show set in the Star Wars galaxy is a perfect fit for Disney, he goes on to say. Star Wars, end quote. Star Wars Jedi Temple Challenge, that's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Is developed by Lucasfilm's Scott Bromley and Steve Blank, with Mickey Capoferri and Christine Beebe serving as executive producers. The series is produced by Lucasfilm and Endeavour Content's non-scripted group, with executive producers Dean Hauser, David Chamberlain, and Mike Antonoro. Star Wars Jedi Temple Challenge will stream exclusively on Disney Plus in 2020. This sounds awesome. This is something, obviously Star Wars, definitely for kids, or families or something, I guess. Like, you come home after work and put it on just to relax and chill out, have a bit of a laugh. Ahmed Best coming back into Star Wars, fantastic. I'm really happy for him. He deserves all the love. I'm not going to watch this because I'm too old by now, despite my beautiful looks. Ha ha ha. But this sounds cool. This is very Disney. But for Lucasfilm to actually get into it as well, that's cool. That brings in a whole new audience, I guess you could say, into the Star Wars. Okay, news number 2. Ghost of Tsushima launches on PS4 summer 2020. This is from the PlayStation blog. Recently, we debuted a brand new trailer that delves deeper into the... Oh, and this was also written by... Sorry, cut that part. That was the PlayStation blog. This was written by... Oh, I can't even remember his name now. I want to say... Oh, I can't remember his name, but I didn't write that down, sorry. But he was a former IGN editor, worker, I guess, who went on to Sucker Punch, who was the company making the game. Recently, we debuted a brand new trailer that delves deeper into the identity our hero is forced to adopt in order to save his home, the Ghost. While Jin starts our game as a samurai, he'll learn skills and adopt tactics that are decidedly not samurai-like. And you can get a small taste in the footage we revealed recently at the Game Awards. In the months ahead, we'll share more about Jin, the threats he faces, the allies that help him along his journey, and what he'll have to give up to become this new kind of warrior. It's kind of like the birth of the ninja, this game. As I mentioned, Ghost of Tsushima is huge. The biggest game Sucker Punch has ever made by a wide margin. Interesting. Our trailer includes some quick glimpses of the vibrant, diverse open world you'll get to explore, but we barely scratched the surface. So, to wrap that up, hey, here's the trailer. There's a lot going on, but we won't show much yet, but we will be showing more coming up to summer 2020. We might see another, like a full trailer or gameplay at E3, unless the game's out before then, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'm very looking forward to that game. Should be good. News number 3. I was going to say R2-D2. Red Dead Redemption 2 gets a big PS4 update that includes story DLC and photo mode. Hey! This is from pushsquare.com. If you've been planning on playing through Red Dead Redemption 2 over the holidays, you picked a great time to dive in. The game's latest update, which is out now on PS4, adds a load of single player stuff to what is already a huge open world adventure. Yeah, there was heaps to do. I played it plenty, and there was still lots and lots that I kind of skipped or said I don't have the time for this because it's very, very large. There's a lot of traveling. This content was apparently included with the originally released PC version, and now Rockstar is bringing it all to the Sony system. Here's a quick overview from the developer. So it has story mode bounty hunter missions, extra ones, track down wanted criminals Herman Zeisendorf, Camille de Millamont, and Bart Kavanaugh. Story mode gang hideouts, take on the Deli Del Lobos gang at Gaptooth Breach and Solomon's Folly. Story mode treasure maps, landmarks of riches and the Elemental Trail. To the End of the Earth, story mode mission. Weapons added to story mode, pistols, repeater, high roller revolver and Lamat revolver. Horses added to story mode. Few spot Appaloosa, Polino, Red Chestnut, Arabian. Hidden Trinkets added to story mode, Hawk Talon, Cat Eye, Shark Tooth, Turtle Shell, and Crowbeak. So there's plenty to explore and have a bit more story to it if you wish, and do some more, what would you call it? Just go have adventures, you know? Go find new things. Not bad for a free update, eh? That's the key word there, free update. What's more, a dedicated photo mode has been added so that you can take some sick snaps while you're out and about. I bet people are gonna love that because that game is gorgeous. Like you go up on the mountain, you get the scenery look, great pictures you can take from that game. It's absolutely gorgeous. So that's news number 3, was it? Yeah, wow, we're going quick. News number 4. A noir-style Telltale Batman Shadows Edition was announced and then unannounced last week. This is from Eurogamer. So we could say this is rumors, but there's a lot of information that people have, they've copied down. So we'll just read it and see how we go. Batman, the Telltale series, is back, only this time it's with a noir twist. Athlon Games published and then rapidly unpublished a press release that announced the Telltale Batman Shadows Edition, Batman the Telltale series, a new version of the narrative-driven game with a graphical update and a sinister new look, noir-style makeover. Batman the Telltale series casts players into the fractured psyche of Bruce Wayne in a dark and violent original story, and challenges players with discovering the powerful and far-reaching consequences of choices as the Dark Knight, the press release says. Thanks, Gamatsu. As Batman, players will encounter classic allies and adversaries and will learn the true meaning of what it means to be the man behind the cowl as Bruce Wayne. I'll tell you now, I've played the first chapter because there's the first segment, like part 1, part 2. There's 2 parts in this full game, I believe. Unless they do more, I don't know. But I played part 1, fantastic. I had a really good time. Some technical difficulties and stuff like that, but it wasn't too bad for me. The characters are great, acting's fantastic, you know. Troy Baker as Bruce Wayne, whereas he was Joker in Batman Arkham Origins, and then what do you call it? Nolan North was Batman in that game. If you've already got the base game, the new features can be purchased and added on separately via the Shadows Mode DLC for $5 US, I'm guessing. Through dated 5th of December, reports of the withdrawn press release are only just starting to circulate, and while the press says the game is available today, it doesn't seem to have been formally announced yet, let alone released on Nintendo Switch, PC, Steam and Epic, PS4 and Xbox One as promised, perhaps intimating plans for the title changed at the 11th hour. There's a quote here saying, "We're excited to be able to build and continue the legacy of an iconic Telltale Games franchise by launching the Telltale Batman Shadows Edition today." End quote. Telltale Games CEO Jamie Ottilli said in the press release, presumably before today stopped being today. So this is like 2 or 3 days ago, I believe. This is just the beginning in a much more expensive plan to build on our catalogue of Telltale Games titles, which we hope to discuss in further details in the coming months. End quote. So that's more from the CEO there. LCG Entertainment bought what remained of Telltale Games back in August, purchasing the defunct studio's key assets, trademarks, technology, and select intellectual properties, with the intent of re-releasing select games from the studio's back catalogue and developing new games in some of the company's best-selling brands. I just want to quickly say to that, they've announced The Wolf Among Us 2, and I believe LCG is doing that. So, but they're rebuilding. They're using the Unreal Engine 4 instead of the Telltale engine, whatever that was. From what I've heard from people, so it's gonna have. It'll probably have the same feel and the same emotions. Same actors are coming back for it and stuff like that, but the look might be a little bit different because Unreal 4 is easy to work with, or easier to work with than what their clunky Telltale engine was. Okay, cool. Athlon and Telltale partnered up earlier. Yeah, I'm reading this right. Yeah. Earlier this year to publish 5 Telltale Games IPs, including Batman, the Telltale series, Batman the Enemy Within, that's part 2, and The Wolf Among Us. Okay, cool. So that's really interesting, where they're like, hey, we made a mistake. Like, they didn't really officially say, hey, we made a mistake, we've put out the news too soon. But maybe they weren't ready with the release. So that's interesting. But now that Athlon and LCG Entertainment have got all the assets and stuff, maybe it'll work a bit better. We'll just have to wait and see. News number 5, and this is a short one. Undead Labs to open a second studio and partnered game development academy in New Orleans. This is from Gematsu.com. Some positive news. New news is good news. Microsoft-owned studio and State of Decay developer Undead Labs will open a second studio and a partnered game development academy in New Orleans. I don't know what that means. Game development academy, so like a whole school for game development? That's going to be really interesting. I'll have to read more into that. The company announced. Here's the full announcement. Recently, I got this. This is a somewhat older news. We are excited to announce that the Undead Labs studio head and founder, Jeff Strain, is launching an exciting new initiative. As anyone who has played State of Decay knows, big ideas don't always come from the biggest cities or the flashiest neighborhoods. Sometimes the heroes come from places like Marshall or Spencer's Mill. That's why game development needs a bigger base, where the know-how, grit, and ideas of even more people can find their way to the public. As a small-town guy himself, Jeff is dedicated to opening a new studio and a partner broad discipline game development academy in New Orleans, Louisiana. Just a second. With the support of Xbox and Microsoft, Jeff's going to continue in his role as a studio head at Undead Labs, also while building opportunities to bring in people who might not otherwise consider a career in the game industry. Get me there. Maybe even someone with the vision for the next State of Decay is out there just waiting for the right opportunity. That's all we can say for now, but we'll share more information as soon as we can. This sounds awesome. This is wonderful because a lot of studios have been closing recently in the last few years. So to have them actually open one up in a place such as New Orleans, fantastic. And to have this game development academy, awesome, great. To actually not just have it like as a small class or something in another university, another college, to actually have its own possibly funded building with multiple classrooms and like labs and stuff for building games. Maybe even like a motion capture room or something like that instead of a gym. Awesome, cool. That sounds really cool. I'll want to look into that more, but that's it for the main news segment. And now we go on to the next segment that I like to call That's right. What's on the nose board? Just some other little bits and pieces that I thought would be really interesting. So let's get into it with the first one. We've got about 2 or 3 here. Okay, so at the State of Play, PlayStation's online direct information package, I guess you could call it, we saw the trailer for Kingdom Hearts Remind DLC, even though that got leaked a few days ago, but we actually got some more proper information from the State of Play. I'll just read the synopsis of the DLC. Remind, the other tale that unfolded during the climax of Kingdom Hearts 3. Determined to rescue Kairi, Sora travels to the Keyblade graveyard a short time before the final battle was to take place. Lacking a corporeal form, he traces the hearts of the 7 Guardians of Light through experiencing their personal battles firsthand. Sora is about to discover truths that he has never before imagined. So, a little bit of a spoiler there, but this way we actually go back and are able to play as the other characters in the final battles, because I had this complaint and I mentioned it on my trailer reaction that I did, so go check that out. I had problems with having all these characters assemble, but we couldn't play as them. We could only play as Sora and then even just Riku for the tiniest little bit. But yeah, and like everyone was kind of having their battles or doing some kind of motions in these battles, but then as soon as Sora gets there, the playable character, then the real battle starts and you only fight as Sora and in each of these zones, I guess you could call it. But this way, they're like, hey, we're switching it up and we can actually play as different characters. And one of the big ones was you can fight as Kairi, because she's had the short end of the stick for like the last 2 games, right? Where in Kingdom Hearts 2, she's like, she runs off and is like, I'll protect you, I'll fight you. I'll fight as well. She finally gets a Keyblade, right? But then she's just kind of in a cutscene. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then she's in this game for most of it. She's training and stuff. And then you meet up in the final battle. And the training is just cutscenes. You don't really see her actually learning how to fight or anything. But then when it comes down to the final battle, she didn't really do much in that. And we're like, what the hell? We felt shortchanged. So hopefully the DLC fixes that. And from what I've seen from the trailer, it looks like they have.
I have spoken.
So the additional information that they released at the end of the trailer was the additional story, which is called Remind, which is the whole DLC kind of thing. Limit cut episode and 13 boss battles. So when they say 13 boss battles, I think that means you can replay like data battles that like in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, you can go and like you can go into a room, I guess, like a digital room or something, and replay boss battles, but they're different from the final boss battles in Kingdom Hearts 3. They're just one-on-ones. So that's going to be good. And another secret episode and different boss battles. So I'm not sure if the secret battle, the secret episode, and the limit cut episode are just going to be cutscenes, or it could be actual moments where you can actually fight and stuff, like extra content, playable content, I should say. Data greeting feature, I don't know what that is. Slideshow feature, so maybe we get to see artwork or concept art or something like that. That'd be really interesting. Premium menu, which has diverse difficulty settings and gameplay challenges. So they announced this earlier as well, that you could also have a super easy mode. So for like speedrunners and whatnot, or for babies. But you could also have the ridiculously hard mode. I think they're calling it black mode, which is not, it's above critical. So like extra hard. So that'd be really interesting. So there's two packages for the DLC. There's the regular DLC, which is $29.99 US. And the second package, it has it includes the Kingdom Hearts Orchestra World of Trez concert video recorded on the November 30th 2019, and that's where they revealed some of the extra info, right? And that's $39.99 USD as well. I looked it up on the PlayStation Store for Australia, and it's like $40 for the regular DLC and almost $60. Sorry, like $49 for the DLC, and for the extra DLC, like the DLC with the concert video, it's like $60. I'm like, whew, that's quite a lot of. Hopefully, that's quite a lot of content. Okay, so I also wanted to mention, we had the Video Game Awards, right? The Game Awards, Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, and we had a few winners. So, just for example, art direction, Control won that. Audio design, Call of Duty Modern Warfare won, and which was strange because I thought Control would have been more in that regard, or even Resident Evil 2. Content creator of the year was Shroud. I'm just going down the list. Family game of the year was Luigi's Mansion 3, and that deserves a win because that was a really fun game. Fresh indie game Disco Elysium, that's worth checking out apparently. Game direction was Death Stranding, obviously, because it's a very cinematic game. And the actual game of the year was voted Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. So that was a bit of a surprise because I thought either Control or Death Stranding would have won that. But apparently not. If you want to see the full list, I will put it down in the links, put a link in the description below. And that was from Polygon, so they're really good with that. Okay, and now we go on to another little segment with the notice board. Rumors abound. This one's kind of old, but I didn't mention it for a while, so I thought I'd mention it right here, right now. Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, rumored to be revealed in February 2020. This is from Gameslot.com. Pardon me. According to recent leaks, Ubisoft will reveal Assassin's Creed Ragnarok in February next year with a fall 2020 release window. So falls around this time, I guess, or it's summer now for us, but for spring for us, it'll be fall for some of you guys over in the Northern Hemisphere. Like September, November. which is the usual release window. It's one of the more popular release windows for games anyway. Following back-to-back release of Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey, developer-publisher Ubisoft decided to skip 2019 from launching any new Assassin's Creed games in favor of post-launch support. I think that's a really smart move. Especially because they're like, hey, before Origins came out, they're like, hey, we're taking a year off. We're going to do some proper development because we've had a lot of issues, especially with Liberty, that had so many bugs in that game. So, really interesting. Some leaked information emerged recently on Reddit. Suggests the next installment of Assassin's Creed franchise is most likely to take place during Viking era and will be called Assassin's Creed Ragnarok. Similar to a rumour from May 2019. According to that same leaked source, Ragnarok is going to be revealed at an upcoming PlayStation event next year in February, which may be a hint to State of Play livestream and will have a release window of fall 2020. Ubisoft has apparently planned for a multi-platform release for the title across current and next gen of consoles. Its map location will sit around a big part of England and Scandinavia, including London and Plymouth. Or Plymouth? Plymouth? I don't know how to pronounce that. Players would be given... It's surprising that it's going to be around England area, UK, because I thought it'd be more... Like, there's a lot of Scandinavia in northern England, right? Northern UK, I should say. But I would have thought it'd be more Northern Europe, you know, like Danish or something. I could be completely wrong. I'm not that cultured, so correct me if I'm wrong. Leave a comment down in the chat in the comments about if you have more information about that. Players will be given choice to pick a male or female assassin named Jorah. So it's not like it wouldn't be like Odyssey where you have the different, like you have Cassandra, or I can't remember the male's name in Odyssey. It would just be one character, but you could just change, like Shepard, right? From Mass Effect, you can have male or female. With the plot revolving on revenge, whoa, big surprise there, because Assassin's Creed is pretty much just revenge. Throughout First Civilization and Norse mythology for a major part, with some ties to both Origins and Odyssey. Interesting. So maybe they're like, hey, this is a few Easter eggs or something, or a few shoutouts to that era. Or it's more like, hey, I wonder if the story's going to be like, hey, you had to play that game to really understand what's going on here. Protagonist character may explore realms of Asgard and Jotunheim, or meeting legendary beings like Loki and Odin. In terms of gameplay, Ragnarok will follow general mechanics of Odyssey with more improvements and role-playing aspects. Developers are intending to bring back and implement beloved NPC recruitment system from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. That was a great system. I really enjoyed that. Like, you save people and then you're like, hey, come be part of the Brotherhood. I can help you to become stronger and protect those you love and stuff like that, protect your city and stuff, but you work for me. And it's like, oh yes, and they're like, we will fight for your cause, and really cool. I like that. You can use a boat for travel, but there will be less naval fights than Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag or Odyssey. A couple of inconsistencies in this leak raise question about authenticity of its source, with one such example being Ragnarok taking place on circa 800 BC. But Vikings did not come to England until 793 AD, almost after 1600 years. Wait. Does it? 1600 years after the set date, so interesting. Whether or not this leak is accurate, it could be simply be a type of 1800 AD, is pretty close to when it happened in real world. It could also be a mix-up from leaked data of upcoming open-world action-adventure game Gods and Monsters. That could be the case. Remember, this is all rumours, even though there's a lot of information, a lot of people talking, nothing has been fully confirmed yet. Earlier this year, a rumor claimed for next AC game to be titled Assassin's Creed Legion, with a set release window of 2020 and set entirely on Rome instead of feudal Japan or China, like many fans have heavily speculated in the past. Based on earlier leaks, Legion is more suited to be next Assassin's Creed game in a trilogy that will carry the legacy of Origins and Odyssey. When it is finally out, pardon me, Assassin's Creed series can easily proceed to a new direction with a new title or a saga. Assassin's Creed Ragnarok was previously codenamed Kingdom, and it would presumably kickstart another trilogy in Assassin's Creed annual action-adventure stealth game series delved in mythical stories for coming years after Legion. Interesting. So remember, this is all rumors, but from what they're saying there, it could be possible, it could be even probable that Ragnarok is a real thing. Okay, the last rumor, Nintendo, I might have mentioned this, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I have. Nintendo is working on an anime for The Legend of Zelda? What? Not the old crappy cartoon. This one's looks like a full anime. I think I'll just show. Yeah, so here's a picture. Yeah, and that's the art or the style they're going for. I don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see, eh? I'll read what they say. This was from Anime Motivation, I guess. Nintendo and Netflix are working on an anime version of The Legend of Zelda. This is rumors, remember? Rumors. This is big news for fans of the Zelda franchise and anime fans who are fans of Nintendo. It was only a matter of time considering how many video games are being adapted into anime these days, or vice versa, where anime is being adapted into video games, or video games that are just pretty much just anime. They're very Japanese, you know? Studio Ghibli, however you want to pronounce it, their French blog spoke on how Nintendo was working on the foundations of the story for the anime. Interesting. I'm going to say Ghibli, okay? I know a lot of people say Ghibli, but I'm going to say Ghibli. Also, IMDb has shared a few official details on what's to come. That includes Season 1 being based on the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Season 2 will be based on Link to the Past and Link's Awakening. That's a great shout out because that game just got remastered, right? Remade. Etc. It says also, don't worry about that. Season 3 will be based on Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass. And yeah, Nintendo and Netflix will be collaborating on it together. This rumor has been running around for years, but it looks like it has potential to become real based on the recent news sources of IMDb and Studio Ghibli's French blog. So take it with a grain of salt, but the pictures look cool. I'll be very excited to see if that actually happens. Okay, so that's it for the rumors and all the notice board stuff. Now we go on to the final segment, games out this week. There's actually quite a few. So let's get into it with the first one, Ashen. That's coming out on PC, Nintendo Switch and PS4. eFootball PES 2020, PS4 and Xbox One. Dauntless is out on the Switch right now. Call of Juarez Gunslinger on the Switch. Headliner Novi News Xbox One, PS4. Rift Keeper Xbox One, PS4. Gunlord X PS4. Jamestown Legend of the Lost Colony Nintendo Switch and PC. Playdead's Inside is now on PS4. Sayonara Wild Hearts. I've heard a lot of good things about this. I haven't played it, I haven't seen much of it, but people are talking about it. I believe it got nominated for some stuff. Wait. I just want to check, because I believe it might have won some awards at the Game Awards. Strategy game. No. Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. I think it's mobile game. No, it got nominated for best mobile game. Disco Elysium won the independent game. Yeah, so it got nominated for best mobile game, Sayonara Wild Hearts. So that's on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, iOS, and Mac. Georgian Dungeons, so Georgian, like dungeon, like Georgian, Dungeons of Ink and Paper. I didn't get a thing for that, but I believe that's Nintendo Switch. I could be wrong. But that's it for me today, guys. Appreciate you sticking around for as long as you have and listen to all this, me just rambling on with all this exciting news. Remember, please like this video, subscribe to the channel and help it out. Share it with your friends if they're interested in more game news and stuff like that. And also, please remember to hit me up on any of my channels. Twitch, Facebook, I'm on Twitter as well. Definitely hit me up there. I'll talk a lot there, especially Star Wars. And until then, I wish you all the best.